Namaste everyone, welcome back to CodeCraft with Poonam. I am your coding mentor Poonam Agrawal. So, you have a Java interview coming up? You have watched tutorials, read notes, and practiced interview questions, right? But when the interviewer asks a question, you still wonder, can I explain this confidently? So, what if I told you that ChatGPT can become your personal Java interview coach? Yes, you heard it right. Available 24 hours a day, completely free. Yes. So it can conduct mock interviews, identify your weak areas, explain difficult concepts, and even help you prepare for HR rounds. So in this video, I'll show you 5 powerful copy-paste ChatGPT prompts that can actually help you prepare smarter, improve your interview skills, and build confidence before your next Java interview. Okay, and make sure you stay until the end. Why? Because I will also show you the biggest mistakes people make when using ChatGPT for interview preparation. Okay, so now let's get started. Before I give you 5 prompts, there is one important thing to know. Okay, that is if you just open ChatGPT and type explain Java, oh, okay, so here for example, when you type explain Java, oh, so when you enter here, you got a definition, right? This is generic answer. Okay, which is a textbook answer, right? Here you can see this is the class and object, it's a definition and example. Okay, so it is not useful for interview preparation. So the secret is giving ChatGPT context, that is your level, your goal, your target companies. Okay. So at the start of every ChatGPT session, paste this one-time setup prompt. This tells ChatGPT exactly who you are and what you need. Okay, so do this once at the beginning and all your other prompts will work much better. Okay. So let's say your dream company is Amazon and experience is 2 years. Okay, just consider for example. Okay, and now watch what happens when I ask ChatGPT to act as a senior Amazon Java interviewer. Okay, so this is the instructions you need to copy and paste as it is. Okay, this one you can change according to your experience level, target companies, your strong topics, weak topics. Okay. And then here, the important instruction I am giving is do not start the interview yet. Do not ask any questions. Simply acknowledge these instructions and wait for my next prompt. Okay, so when you give these instructions to the chat GPT and when you enter, okay, so it will provide this one. So here it understood. For the rest of this session, I will, that is ChatGPT, is giving you this. That assume 2 years of Java development experience. So what are the things you have given? Based on that, it will respond. Okay. So now coming to prompt 1, that is mock interview simulator. Okay. So here is our prompt 1. Okay. You need to copy and paste as it is. Only you need to change this, your experience level and the topics which you want to cover. Okay. So when you give this instruction and when you enter, it will respond it in this way. See this, the first question. Okay, so this is the topic I have given first. Oh, okay, so based on that, it provided first question. Okay, so this is the first question which ChatGPT gave us. That is, what is the difference between method overloading and method overriding in Java? Give a simple example of each and mention when Java decides which method to execute. Okay, so this is the question and here is the answer which I provided. Okay, this one. That is definition of method overloading, the definition of method overriding and what is overloading and overriding, how it is resolved. Okay, so based on this, what it responded is, see here, rating, okay, what you did well, okay, and then what you missed and what interviewers often ask and what is your ideal interview answer. These are the things which I have instructed before, right? So based on that, it responded. Okay. So here you can see that now ChatGPT asked another question that is from the collection topics. Okay. So here the question is, what is the difference between array list and linked list? Here also same, what you need to do is you need to give your answer, and based on that it will rate you. It will tell you what you missed and what are the instructions you provided. Okay. So here ChatGPT does not tell you whether your answer is right or wrong. It tells you what it did well, what important points you missed, and even shows you how a strong candidate would answer the same question in a real interview. So notice something else. It also asks a follow-up question, just like a real interviewer would. Okay, so that's what makes this prompt so powerful. Got it? So, you're not simply memorizing Java concepts, you are learning how to think, communicate, and respond confidently in an actual interview. So, this is one of the fastest way to improve both your Java knowledge and your interview communication skills. Okay, so this is the first prompt, that is mock interview simulator. Okay, so this is my favorite prompt and probably the most powerful one. So why? Because this makes ChatGPT behave exactly like a real interviewer. So it asks you one question at a time, waits for your answer, and then gives you feedback. It is like having a free mock interview at any time you want. Okay, so now let's move to prompt 2. Okay, that is deep concept explainer. So one of the biggest interview challenges is not understanding a concept. Okay, it's explaining it clearly. For example, you may know how hash map works, right? But when an interviewer asks, how does the hash map work internally? Then your mind will suddenly goes blank, right? So this prompt helps you understand a concept in a structured way that is easy to remember and explain during interviews. Okay. Since ChatGPT already knows your experience level from the setup prompt, okay, so you can continue in the same chat and simply paste the next prompt. Okay, so here you see this is the prompt too. So you need to copy and paste in your ChatGPT. Okay, so here see explain hash map internal working. So you can replace this. Okay, the topic which you want. So here explain hash map internal working in an interview friendly way. Then provide this instructions. So here the best part is that you can replace hash map with any topic you are struggling with. So for example, string pool, garbage collection, abstract class or interface, Java streams, multithreading, JVM internals or exception handling. Okay. So when you enter this, this is how you will get the response. Okay. Here you see it's internal working. Okay. How it works internally with example, most interview questions, ideal interview answer, common mistakes. Okay, and a memory trick. So here you notice that how ChatGPT starts with explaining the internal workings step by step, gives you a practical example, and even shows the exact interview answer you can use. Okay. So in real life, usually keep all interview preparation in the same chat. Okay, but if you want to learn a completely different topic from scratch, you can always start a new chat and paste the setup prompt again. Got it? So now coming to prompt 3, that is tricky question trainer. Okay, so here interviewers love tricky questions. Yes, the ones that look simple but have a twist. So most of the candidates get this wrong because they assume the obvious answer. Okay, so here the third prompt makes ChatGPT throw only the tricky ones at you. So you stop getting surprised in the actual interview. So this is our prompt 3. Okay, you need to copy and paste in your ChatGPT. Okay, so here you can replace these topics according to you. Okay, so here is our instructions. Okay, so when you enter this, here it responded. Okay, this is our first Java interview question. Okay, So here you see that this one. Now you have to give the output. Okay, so what will be the output for this? So here first to see the question, take a few seconds and think about your answer before looking at the explanation. Why? Because many candidates lose marks not because they don't know Java, but because they misunderstand small details and assumptions hidden inside these questions. Okay, that's exactly why I like this prompt. It trains you to spot interview traps before you face them in a real interview. So here let's see this question first. Okay. So here what happens is many candidates immediately assume that concat method modifies the original string. But remember, strings in Java are immutable. Okay. So here I will be providing the answer as Java. Okay. So here it is. Okay. This is the answer which is correct. Okay. Here you see. And here you see, here is the memory tip. Okay. So here notice that how ChatGPT explains not only the correct answer, but also why many candidates get it wrong and even gives a memory trick to remember it during interviews. Okay. And it will continue generating more tricky questions like this. Okay. Here it is. Now, let's move to prompt 4, that is weak area fixer. Okay, this is probably the prompt you will use the most before an interview. So let's be honest. Most of us don't have months to prepare, right? So sometimes the interview is just a few days away. The biggest question is, what should I focus on first? That's where these prompts help you. Okay, so you tell ChatGPT your week topic and how much time you have, and it creates a focused preparation plan based on your interview priorities. Got it? So instead of trying studying everything, you can focus on the topics that give you the highest return for your time. So I will show you with multi-threading as an example, because that is the topic most freshers or experienced are scared of. So here it is. This is our prompt 4. You can copy and paste this one. Okay. So here you can replace this multi-threading with whatever your weak area is, like JVM stream, Spring, Hibernate, design pattern, etc. Okay. So when you click enter, here it is your 3-day interview. So here is your 3-day study plan. Okay. This is the day 1. Okay. And this is your day 2, and this is your day 3. Okay. So notice here how it breaks the preparation into daily goals, interview questions, coding exercise, and revision tasks. This gives you a clear roadmap instead of randomly jumping between the topics. Okay. Now let's move on to 5th prompt, that is HR round preparation. Okay, so here many candidates spend weeks preparing for technical rounds and then completely ignore the HR round. But here's the reality. The HR round is where you need to communicate your experience, your achievements, and your career goals clearly and confidently. Got it? So, this prompt helps you build professional answers without sounding scripted or artificial. So, what I like most is that ChatGPT explains what the interviewer is actually looking for behind each question. That means you are not just memorizing answers, you are understanding the purpose of the question and learning how to present yourself effectively. Okay, so now coming to our 5th prompt. Okay, so this is the prompt you need to copy and paste. Okay, so when you enter here, you see it responded with all the instructions you provided here. Okay, So here you can see that tell me about yourself. So this is your sample answer. So here you notice that how the answer naturally highlights technical skills, project experience and career growth without sounding like a memorized script. Okay, this is what it is. And now I'm going to give you pro tips, that is what not to do. Before I wrap up, let me share 3 mistakes I see people make when using ChatGPT for interview preparation. Okay, so avoid these mistakes and you will get much better results. So, mistake number 1, reading ChatGPT's answer and thinking, okay, I understood it now. That is not how learning works. After reading an explanation, close the chat and try to explain the concepts in your own words. Okay, so if you cannot explain it without looking at the answer, you do not fully understand it yet. Okay, and the mistake number 2, that is using ChatGPT without giving it any context. So if ChatGPT does not know your experience level, your strength, weakness, or interview goal, it will give you a generic answer. So that's exactly why we started this setup prompt. Okay, so the more context you provide, the more personalized and useful response become. Okay, and then coming to mistake number 3, that is using ChatGPT as a replacement for actual coding practice. So here, ChatGPT can help you understand concepts, prepare answers, and simulate interviews. Okay, but interviews are not cleared by reading alone. You still need to write code, debug problems, and build confidence through practice. So use ChatGPT as your coach, not as a substitute for learning. Got it? And one bonus tip I would like to give you before we finish. That is, at the end of every mock interview session, ask ChatGPT that based on my answers today, what are my 3 biggest knowledge gaps? And how should I improve them? So, by doing this, it will give you a personalized revision plan in seconds. Okay, and that's exactly how you should use ChatGPT before any Java interview. Not just to get answers, but to identify what you need to improve. Okay, so now all 5 prompts are in the description below. So go ahead and copy them right now. Open ChatGPT and paste the setup prompt and try at least one mock interview today. Okay, not next week, not tomorrow, but today. Okay, so if you found this video helpful, please hit the like button. It helps this video reach more Java developers who are preparing for interviews, just like you. Okay, and if you're serious about improving your Java skills, make sure to subscribe to CodeCraft with Poonam. I post beginner-friendly tutorials on Core Java, Spring Boot, Hibernate, and interview preparation every week. That is on Thursday. Okay. So now I have a question for you. What's the one Java interview question that always confuses you? So let me know in the comments below. I read every comment and your answer might become the topic of my next video. And one more thing. Today's prompt focused on interview preparation and communication skills. Okay, so in part 2, I will show you how to use ChatGPT to prepare for Java coding rounds, including DSA, Java 8 coding questions, OOP scenarios, and SQL interview challenges using powerful copy paste prompts. Okay, so make sure you are subscribed and don't miss it. Remember, ChatGPT is not here to replace your preparation. It's here to make your preparation smarter. Okay, thanks for watching and I will see you in the next one. So keep learning, keep growing. This is Poonam Agrawal from CodeCraft with Poonam signing off.